If you want to hit trades like this, like that, and like that, then make sure you watch this video all the way to the end with your notebook out and learn this strategy. Also, stick around to the end because I'll show you an actual live trade example too, so you can see proof that this 5-minute scalping strategy is truly the best. Now, all that is said, let's get straight into this video. Alright, so first, let me actually explain on what you're looking for in this strategy. So, it is pretty simple, just looking at supply and demand zones. So, all I'm looking for, I'm going to explain everything more detailed later, but this is just the basics. So, I need a strong push up, alright, from a move down, then a push down, creating my liquidity. After that, I need price to take out its own high. So in this case here, liquidity taking out its own high. On a supply zone example, taking out its own low. But I'm just going to give you a demand zone example. Right after that, all you need price is just to come directly to your demand zone. And that's about it. Let me show you a live example too. So as you can see here, we had a strong push up, and right before that, we have two demand zones. Well, I'm just going to mark up this one right now because it's the example I'm showing. Now, what I need price to do is create its liquidity just like that. And after that, taking out its own high. So let's see if it does that. It did exactly that. And now the setup is completely valid. Now what I need is price to come down with direct movement, just like this. And let's see if that happens. That's just perfect. I enter on the flip here. Stop loss just below right here, and I believe this will be a 1 to 4. So let me just take my take profit rules out, and this would exactly be a 1 to 3 risk reward, and that should be here, I believe, but with just 2 candles. Insane. All right, insane. So that's basically all I'm looking for. All right, let me show you a supply zone example as well. So as you can see, you need a strong push down, as you can see, just like this. But this trade is not valid because it doesn't have any liquidity above it. So it needs to be in distance as well. You can't call this as your liquidity because it's too far from the zone. And this supply zone is really clean because it had a strong push down right before it created this supply zone. So as you can see, strong push down right before you create the supply zone. Then you need price to come up, create a obvious high, which is your liquidity. After your liquidity is creating, this is extremely important, it taking out its own low. As you can see, this is its own low and it was taken out right here. That's all you look for in a supply zone example. And right after that, all you need is price just to take out its own low and then come right to the supply zone and give a bearish reaction so you can enter. Now let me show you a live supply zone example too, so you can understand how all this works out, and then I'm going to show you the actual entry models. That I'm going to do some backtesting live so you can see proof that this will actually work. And I'm going to be backtesting so long until I take a losing trade, so you can see that this strategy has an insane win rate with a pretty reasonable risk to reward. So let me quickly find a supply zone example. So this is the first supply zone example I found. It's not the cleanest, but as you can see, what you had is a strong push down right before you credit the demand zone. Then you had a strong push up, actually creating that liquidity. Now this liquidity is not valid after this point right here, after it took out these lows. Now all I need price is to come directly to the zone, but what it did is created another level of liquidity and took it out again and then come directly to the zone. I enter on a flip right here. Stop loss just above this wick. I'm going to explain all that later as well. Let me get my TP rules out. And as you can see, a stop loss of 327 pips. It is a massive stop loss, so I would just go for a 1 to 1.5 on this trade. And that's another win. Now, let me show you an actual example of how I enter these trades. So let me just first go over the flip entry because that's the example on this trade. So I only got 3 models and they're really simple, and this is just to increase the risk to reward and increase the win rate. So all I'm looking for on a flip entry is, let me just try to create this zone as a drawing example real quick. So this bullish candle is this candle right here, and the new candle opens where the previous candle closed. So here opens the bearish one. Now a flip entry is when it comes deep inside the zone. So as you can see in this, well, it made a massive wick and then it flipped, but bear it made a massive wick and then it flipped bearish. So what I need price to do is wick inside the zone. It's not allowed to go through the zone. So this wick over here, right here, this is not allowed to go through the zone. And also this body is not allowed to close inside the zone. All I need price to do is just wick inside the zone, no matter how small it is. As you can see, just a small tap into the zone had a massive reaction, and this is the point you would exactly enter, because this is the point where it flipped bullish. That's called a flip entry. I'll be back testing later, and you can see this all live as well. So this is just a quick introduction to all my entry models. Now let me show you a break of candle entry model. So here I have a break of candle entry. So let me just quickly explain this setup. As you can see, you had a strong push down. Right before that push down, you have a supply zone right here. All I need price to do is make a quick high. So that's my liquidity. As you can see, the setup right now is not valid because it doesn't have valid, it does have valid liquidity, but this is just not like strong enough of a liquidity level. Now I need price just to come up a little bit. As you can see now, this here is a valid liquidity, but the trade is still not valid because it hasn't taken out its own low. Once it takes out this low right over here, the setup is valid. Now at this point, this setup is completely valid. All I need price to do is just come directly to my zone and give a nice reaction. And as you can see, a break of candle, let me just go replay mode. A break of candle is when you enter on the next candle that breaks the previous candle. So as you can see, let me make a drawing example. So this bullish candle here is this bullish candle right there. And the next candle opens where the previous candle closes. So this bearish candle, this one right here, open right over here. It created this top wick. Now it comes all the way down, all the way down. Once it breaks through this level, you enter right here as a break of candle. And that's that. It's that simple. And the directional close is my most common entry model, and it is when you just enter on the first bearish candle, or on a supply zone example, first bearish candle to react from your zone. So as you can see, this would be a directional close. I'm gonna show you a better example though. As you can see, I just had an example, just like for example right here. This is a perfect example of where you could take a flip entry. As you can see, a clean flip entry, because it came deep enough inside the zone. You enter a flip entry and you get a great risk to reward of I don't even know because I don't have my TP rules out, but yeah. And also you could have just entered on the directional close as well, and this would be just as same because the price went pretty low for a bit and wouldn't make a difference. And also an example here as well, this would be actually I'm gonna ask you, would this be a directional close, a flip entry, or a break of candle? This right here. And this will be a flip entry because it came deep inside the zone, had a massive wick, and then flipped all the way bearish. And you have another nice trade right here. Now you understand all my entry models. You understand what I'm actually looking for. Now let me back test, and each trade I take, I'm going to explain everything what I'm looking for, everything you need to learn. For example, liquidity distances, liquidity, taking out its own low, reacting from demand zone, key levels, trend, all that, all you need to know in just this backtesting session. So this is extremely important part to watch, and I'll be backtesting as long as I take a losing trade. I might regret saying that because I might be here for all day long. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this backtesting session. So what I'll do is I'll go on a completely random time. So random bar, as you can see, let me just, well, this is no trades over here, I believe. Yep, this will be a good period to trade. This is 30th of April, and I'm just going to start backtesting from here. As you can see, there was a setup right here, but the reason this trade is invalid is because it closed inside the zone. Now, as you can see, you have nice level of liquidity, a nice break of structure of taking out its own low. Then you have direct movement to the zone, but what it did, it just closed inside the zone, which makes this trade now invalid. Now also you have a setup right here, but this is a trade I would not take. It's because there's just no Well, you can already see this trade just doesn't look good at all. You're just consolidating. As you can see, there's no clear direction. Also, it's no good level of liquidity. You could call this as your liquidity, but it's just like it is valid trade, but it's never a trade I would take. I usually try to go at least for like A or A plus setups on the 5-minute time frame, because you get opportunities every day, so might as well just wait for the perfect opportunity. But since we're just backtesting, I'm going to go pretty much over every single trade so you can see what I avoid and what I like to trade. Alright, so as you can see, we are approaching this zone right here. We barely tapped, so it's not valid yet. As you can see, we need to wick inside the zone, but we do have a nice level of liquidity taking out its own low, and overall we're pretty much bearish. I mean, on the 5-minute time frame, it's not that deep like the trend, but you can still consider it. And as you can see, we are pretty much bearish. I mean, we need a retracement soon, but since we're only catching a small risk to reward, I think it's worth taking a... Okay, never mind. We just closed inside the zone, so the trade is now invalid. I mean, while I'm back testing and I'm seeing no trades, let me just talk about my free Discord. I mean, if you want to learn this strategy more, I mean, I just answer pretty much everyone's questions and it's for free. So if you want to join, you can join that. I can help you with specific questions if you've got any questions, and overall it's a great community, so it's a link in the description if you want to join. And also, while I was talking, this trade right here is absolutely A plus. I mean, all I need now is a bearish reaction, because I would not enter on the bullish candle. I need a bearish candle to react from the zone, and let's see if we get that. And we got that perfectly. Now I would enter a flip entry here. It wouldn't make a big difference if I entered a directional close, but since flip entry and stop loss just over here. Now let me just get my TP rules out. So right here, and a stop loss of 336 pips. We go for a close at the 1 to 1.5. Now on gold and Nasdaq, I usually do have a lower risk to reward, but on pairs like USD JPY and GBP JPY, I have higher risk to reward trades. So just a 1 to 1.5. I mean, you could also have a 1-minute trailing stop loss, but that's a bit too deep to go into because this is more like a beginner kind of video. So let's just see about this trade. Well, this has happened to be a pretty much unfortunate loss. Maybe this was news, and they'll never know. I mean, we did take this trade 10 minutes before a new 4-hour open, but the 4-hour new candle just opened right here. Unfortunate loss. I mean, I did say I will be back testing as long as I take a losing trade, but usually when I've done these kind of videos, it takes like at least an hour of back testing. So, you know, I'm just gonna keep back testing. You know, it is just an unfortunate loss. This is a good lesson for you guys as well, that you won't always get a win on trading. Even with high win rate strategies, you might still take some losers now and then. But yeah, I'm not even going to complain. This was a complete valid loss. It is very clean overall. You have a nice level of liquidity. Zone is part of a straight move, but it's still A plus, or at least an A. Nice reaction from the zone. Unfortunate that we just got stopped out by one candle. Maybe it was some kind of fundamentals, but let's just keep going and let's just keep learning. So what I said before, that I made these kind of videos before, is you can actually check out my videos. I'm gonna put it somewhere in there in the corner of the video, that I made videos like this before, where I just backtest as long as I take a losing trade, and some of those have actually gone crazy. I've taken like over 10 trades, winning trades in a row, for average risk to reward of like 1 to 3 or 1 to 2. So make sure you go watch those videos as well after you finish this scalping video, because they're all on the 5-minute time frame. You know, I trade the 30-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame, and the 5-minute has been pretty much doing really good recently, and this is why I decided to make the video, because a lot of you guys want to learn, and I'm just giving out free source on the YouTube. So subscribing, liking this video, doing all the algorithm stuff would just be really appreciating that. Well, while I was actually trying to move this, there was a setup right here, and I was just looking at this, and that is pretty much another A plus setup. Now, unfortunately, I did skip it a bit too far. As you can see, it already won, but I can still explain the trade and all that as well. As you can see, stop loss just over here. at over 200 pips, so I want to 1.5. That's the win over here. So we got one loss and one win. As you can see, you have a level of liquidity here, level of liquidity here, and here. So you got a lot of liquidity sitting under here, a lot of stop losses, and they were all taken out, reacting from this clean demand zone, which is a part of this small consolidation area, which is pretty nice as well. And yeah, taking out all these highs multiple times. Also just take out this major high on the left as well. So pretty much clean, and that's about it. Also, a flip entry at this point would be perfect as well, because it just opened a new 4-hour candle, I believe. So that's pretty much nice. Perfect A+ trade here, and that's another win. Well, our first win. So let's just continue and keep learning. Also, stay tuned for the end of this video, because I'll go over an actual live trade as well. So I'm just going to put insane value into this video so you guys can learn as much as possible. Alright, so we did have a setup here, but as you can see, it closed inside the zone, which makes this trade now invalid. As you can see, if we did react nicely from that, it would have been a nice trade. And also, what I've been talking about liquidity is, this is the minimum. There's 2 candles in the direction of our demand zone is the minimum. So if you have a setup like this, it's just not valid, because the liquidity is not strong enough. At least 2 candles minimum in your direction, and that's about it for liquidity. I mean, it also has to be in distance, so you cannot have a setup like this and then zone right here. That's a bit too far. All right, it needs to be in distance as well. Usually I do this visually on the 5-minute, because I mean, on gold and Nasdaq I usually do it visually, but on pairs like USD JPY and GBP JPY, I mean, I do it visually as well, personally, but for the beginners, you can put a rule to like maximum 9 pips liquidity, and that's both for GBP JPY and USD JPY, and also 2 pips minimum. And there are specific rules for the 1 candle liquidity, which is a fake out. So hopefully we can find a 1 candle liquidity setup, and I can explain that as well. But at the moment, let's just continue and keep learning. And also, drawing out your zones on USD JPY and GBP JPY is a bit different on how I draw my zones on gold and Nasdaq. So this kind of video is only for like calls for gold and Nasdaq, because I usually draw my zones out a bit differently on different pairs. So if you want to learn that, you can go check out my other videos, but this video is just for gold and Nasdaq. Usually I do get a bit more trades than this. Picked a pretty dry month, I mean, unfortunately, and that's about it. But we just got into May, so hopefully let's see if we can start picking up some trades. Yeah, I mean, we had another trade here, but it just closed inside the zone by a small amount, so that's also invalid. Yeah, I never actually had no trades in literally like a week, so hopefully we can start picking up trades, and if not, I'm just going to go on a new period. So just trying to give you guys the much value as possible, but right now I'm not going to find a lot of trades, and I don't want this video to be extremely long as well. So hopefully we can start picking up trades. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to go on a random bar because it is pretty much dead. Okay, now this is too recent. I believe this is alright. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much okay. Let's just start from here. Just a new beginning. So yeah, like I said before, I draw out my zones a bit differently. What I meant by that is, well, I'm literally just not going to go into it, but as you can see, this zone on gold, I would draw it out like that. But on GBP JPY and USD JPY, I would draw it out like this. And in this case, it actually worked on gold as well. It tends to work on gold and Nasdaq as well, but drawing out normally on gold and Nasdaq usually does work a bit better. But as you can see, this is how I usually draw them out on USD JPY, and they're called accuracy zones. So if you want to learn that, just go watch my other videos. Yeah, so we did have a setup here, but again, that is not a kind of trade I would take, because I mean it goes a little bit more in depth, but this liquidity here is valid, but it was already taken out and the move already happened. It failed to take out this low, and then it started making some bullish structure to the zone, and also the reaction of the zone is not the best as well. That's pretty much I've got to say about this trade. I mean, yeah, it goes a bit more in depth, so I won't actually explain it, but I tried to explain it in a quicker way. So I believe we tapped this zone. Yeah, we did. Not the highest quality setup, but since we haven't seen a trade in a while and you guys are waiting for that trade, I am just gonna validate this one. So entry, directional close, stop loss just at the wick over here. And let me just get my rules out quickly. Here are the rules again, and a stop loss of 131 pips. I will go for a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. Let's see. Before, that's another loss. You know what? I'm not gonna even remake this backtesting video. So, I mean, I did make this the whole video. I made it before, but my mic wasn't recording, so I just made a full 1 hour video, me backtesting, and that session was really good. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and you'll experience bad market conditions sometimes. I mean, 2 losses in a row is actually nothing. So that's just, yeah. Okay, while I was talking, there was a clean setup here. I mean, I keep missing these winners because some unfortunate thing, but as you can see, a flip entry. Well, you could have also gone a directional close. This is a more riskier flip entry, but since this is on a new 30-minute candle, a flip entry here is completely valid to take. Nice level of liquidity. Structure to the zone is not the great, also coming from this demand zone, but since we have a nice level of liquidity, a nice place to where to take a sell, a great reaction, a great time, and also overall we're pretty much bearish. So a target for this is 91, so that will be a 1 to 3, and that is another win here. Overall, we're still profitable. I mean, we took 1 win, which was a 1 to 1.5, 2 losses, and so we're up 3.5%, I believe. If I'm wrong, then correct me, let me know, but 3.5% at the moment, and hopefully I don't want to take this video too long, so I'm just going to take one more trade. Actually, I'm going to take one more winning trade, and then I'm just going to go into the live trade. Yeah, so there was a trade here, but this is a very weak zone. As you can see, there's no like structure in the zone. It's just part of a straight move, and also this break of structure is very weak. It just wicked it, and it came straight through it, and then it's not a trade I would look to take. And also, we're looking to take a retracement soon because markets don't move in a completely straight line. All right, well, I kind of missed this. I misclicked my play button, but yeah, it's an okay trade. I wouldn't say A plus. This will be a break of candle entry, a stop loss just at right over here. Liquidity is this right here, break of candle, break of structure right here. It wicked like 6 times for the break of structure, so that is still better than this one. Obviously, that's just 1 wick, and also we did have a little bit of a retracement, and yeah, I mean, going for a small risk to reward here is pretty much valid, I guess. So let's just see the rules. 200 pips. Well, we can just consider it as a 1 to 2. So wait, let me just see. So yeah, since it's just since it's just 6 pips above, we can just go for a 1 to 2. Not that big of a deal, and actually that was already here. So we are up for 5.5%. 5.5% for however long I recorded this backtesting session. That's about it. Let me just go into the live trading now. All right, so for the live trade, I'm actually just looking at this supply zone on USD JPY. Well, it's not gold, but it's still a 5-minute pair, and you can still see now this is pretty clean. As you can see, we just took out this recent low into this clear space, and we can potentially fill that area. Also, I mean, we are bullish, obviously, but on the 5-minute, it doesn't really matter the trend. And as you can see, we did take out this major low on the 5-minute time frame. Also, we have a new 1-hour candle coming in like 20 minutes, so we've got to be careful for that as well. Other than that, it's pretty clean. We don't have a lower wick on the 30-minute time frame. And other than that, that's pretty much all I'm looking for. I got the rules right here as well. So right now, I'm just going to wait until we get an entry, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'll see we have tapped the zone. As you can see, we have the perfect reaction as well. Now I'm just looking to take a buy. I'm just going to take it on trading view. So I've never actually taken a buy order here before, or like any orders. So let me just try to figure out how it goes. Go market, stop loss, take profit. I put my position out. Stop loss above over here. So that is level. Copy that. Put it right here. And take profit. Let's say we go for a flip entry. A take profit of that would be 1 to 3. So just like this. So now I'm just waiting for a flip entry. Also, we have a new hourly open, so I'm gonna have to be a bit more careful. I might not enter on this flip at the moment because new 1-hour candle is going to open and a lot of volatility is going to come in. So I might wait for a flip entry of the next candle. Let's see what happens. If we do get a good flip entry here, actually let me just enter right here. And yeah, if we do get a really good flip entry here, then potentially we have moved down like enough so we can avoid that 1-hour volatility. So there's a good flip entry here. We entered right as it flipped. Stop loss just over there. 0 points. All right, and 1 to 3. So that's pretty clean. And yeah, that's about it. All right, so we got in on a pretty good entry, I'd say. I also took this on my 100K account, but I just want to like show you guys on trading view a bit more simple. Yeah, just flip entry here. Got a not bad actually, good flip entry, good reaction, and right now I'm just gonna let this play out. At the moment, I actually just ordered a drawer, so I'm building that, and it's been like 3 hours. I'm still building it, so yeah, I'm just gonna wait until this trade play out, and might just some breaks because I don't usually like watching trades play out just for psychology, you know. I'm just gonna leave this running. I'm gonna put some alerts here as well. I'm also gonna come back before the new hourly close, see where we have reached. I'm gonna put a alert here, and alert right here as well, right there, and I'm going pretty good. So yeah. So I got an alert. We have just gone to break even. That's all right, to be honest. Just how market. Hopefully we can just start reacting now because 1 hourly is going to open and it's going to be a lot of volatility. Hopefully we can just have a flip and that's why I'm not get stopped out here. So hopefully I'm just gonna stay here for 40 seconds. Hourly open. It's going to come with a lot of volatility, as you guys know. New 1 hour is going to open. It's going to want to make that top wick, and if it's going to move bearish, it's going to want to make that top wick, and if it wants to go bullish, it's going to have to make that bearish wick. So hopefully we can be a part of that move, and that's about it. So 20 seconds. I'm gonna put an alert here as well. Alert here. I'll get back to building, I guess. You guys can see a lot of momentum coming. So hopefully we can react from the zone again. But hopefully it's just making a top wick. I think we'll be alright here as well. You guys can see we're reacting from the zone again. Just making that top wick. If we get a flip entry here, it will be great. Well, not an entry, but a flip of this candle. So let me just see how this plays out. Put another alert here. Also, if you're watching this video so far, you can join my free Discord. I'm actually just talking to my chat at the moment to talk about this trade. So yeah, it's down in the description below, just a community where we talk about just trades and all that, just trading community. So if you're interested in that, just join in. Yeah, that's about it. Now, we did have a nice reaction from the zone again, and that's about it. So I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna come back later again. Happens 1 2 3 and yep. I've seen it so many times that you just get, you know, like closings out the zone makes it invalid, and then it ends up winning. So let's see what happens now. All right, so I can see crazy momentum, bro. I'm actually sweating with this draw as well. It like actually just fell all apart. I'm not the best builder, but I am a good trader, as you can see. So yeah, that is just some crazy momentum. Hopefully we can just hit take profit now. Actually, let me get my phone real quick. So I'm pretty close to take profit on my account as well. So yeah, let's just hope we can hit that take profit anytime soon. That is some good momentum, I can say that for sure. So yeah, that's about it. So let's see. We had a new 30-minute candle opening up. That's the reason why it came with so much momentum as well. See, this made all that in just 5 minutes. So hopefully we can just tap our take profit level, and that's about it. I'm also break even now as well, so if it's my break even, then I'm out. All right, we had some crazy bearish momentum, and now we have some crazy bullish momentum, but we have not created a lower wick, so hopefully, well, only on the 5 minutes. So yeah, it's a bit consolidating right now. Hopefully we can just, yeah, just hit it and end the video here as well. Hopefully we don't get stopped out for break even. Oh, I just realized I've accidentally thought I entered the trade, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, I mean, I just realized that I have not entered the trade, so that's just unfortunate, I guess. But let's just imagine that I entered over here and not over here. Yeah, I have never actually taken an order on TradingView itself. I used TradeLocker and I've used MT5, but I didn't know. I mean, I didn't even check it. It said like place order, but I just wouldn't. I just didn't care. But yeah, at least you can still see it, I guess. Okay, I don't know how long I've been recording, but it has to be at least like an hour long. So I mean, I'm gonna cut it into speeds, so it's going to be like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But yeah, hopefully we can just hit that take profit already, bro. Because I need to go gym, and I need to finish this building drawer, and I need to eat, and that's about it. Just come back in the evening, edit this video, and that's about it. All right, nothing's happening, so I'm just gonna go back to building again. I'm just gonna put my alerts here again. I think that's it. That'll be all right. Bro, it's been so long. Holy, even if it goes break even, stop loss, I'm still gonna post this video because I made like 3 videos already and they've all just like invalidated it. Like I like made the video like 20 minutes before saying it's about to tap and just closed inside the zone. But yeah, this one I just did it last seconds, ended up giving a good entry, ended up being, it's going all right. I mean, usually, yeah, I just place a trade and I just leave it, but this time I'm recording it, so it might just seem a bit slower. But yeah, let me just see how it goes. Let me just put another alert here, and yeah, I'll be right back again. All right, boys, TP hit. Let me just get out on my here as well. As you can see, that is a nice profit. I'm gonna just let the momentum go in. Let's see how much I can profit. Never mind. All right, so I got out. Well, unfortunately, my take profit was literally right here, and now it's going, yeah. Oh, that's just fortunate. Oh, that's very unfortunate, actually. Yeah, I got out. Here's my take profit, and I got out like right here. It just bumped up, so I was up like 2,800, and I ended up closing for 2,500. So yeah, but no worries. That was a pretty good trade, and that's it for the video as well. So that was a live trade. Hope you enjoyed that video. We're also reacting from this demand zone, and I'll see you in the next video.